Hi, I'm Jason Holcomb, Director of Public Relations for Dublin City Schools. And we want to welcome everybody here today to the Law Enforcement Appreciation Luncheon here at the Farmers Market on Madison. I'm joined today on my left with Dr. Fred Williams, our superintendent, and to my right, Mr. John Bell, newly elected chairman of the Dublin City School System. Doc, talk to us for a minute about the significance of Dublin City Schools engaging the community beyond just the classroom.
Our strategy map, goal 3, is positive stakeholder engagement and community support. And as we look around and we see and realize and celebrate the role of law enforcement and other service agencies that they play with the same people that we serve in terms of our students and families, we're excited about this opportunity just to show some love and appreciation, to fellowship with them as we look forward to longer and lasting and more meaningful relations in terms of maximizing community support and engagement.
And speaking of that engagement, Mr. Bell, you've grown up your whole life here in Dublin and Lawrence County, and you're no stranger to the type of engagement that we're seeing here today. Talk for a minute about the long history that Dublin City Schools has had with engaging, going all the way back, I could imagine, to projects like the Shamrock Bowl. That was a community project. Talk about those community projects as they relate to today.
That's correct. We've always had community projects. The Shamrock Bowl was Don Lamb's, and a bunch of citizens like my dad was on that got Shamrock Bowl built. And I graduated from Dublin High in 1970. We've always had a great school system. Our school system is 120 years old, around 120 years old, and we're always engaging the public. We're always wanting public input, and we are a school system that we try to do the best for the students. The students are number one, the teachers are number two, and if anybody has any comments, all they have to do is call any of the board members or the superintendent and let us know what's going on.
We also have a new Let's Talk function on our website at dcs.irish, so please take advantage of that. And Doc, in keeping with that, this type of event has to be special to you because you're not only a superintendent, you're also a father and a husband, and to see people that you're able to recognize, including friends like Chief Chatman, who's over to our right. How exciting is this for you to be able to show some level of appreciation that is more than just a handshake to people that are friends, family, and other people in the community?
It's very exciting, and as you look at that word community, the prefix com means with, and the rest of the word unity speaks for itself. And so when you can engage with those whom you live and you work with, and it's just a great feeling to be able to come together in the community and celebrate one another and maximize the support of one another. That's very tremendous, and we're excited about that. I just had someone tap me on the shoulder whose son and my son played ball together, who's a sheriff and a sheriff officer in our town. And so we're very excited, and just with the familiar faces and then learning some people who we don't know as well, and we're excited about what's going on today.
Joining me right now is Captain Bracewell with the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office. Captain, we've been knowing each other a good while, but for people who don't know you, talk about some of the time, effort, and energy that goes into being a deputy or anything higher with the Sheriff's Office.
But one of the things we want to do is try to service the public in Lawrence County and wherever we're at. And, the biggest thing I can tell you is we want to service the public and do what we can to help the public. As far as being in law enforcement, you mentioned how long have I been in law enforcement. I've been in law enforcement 29 years. April will be 30 years. We have a couple other guys that's been there a little bit longer than I have. The sheriff, he started in, I believe it was 77 as a deputy. He was elected in 2000, or took office in 2005. He's been in law enforcement for a while. Kyle, he worked with the college, and we was fortunate enough to get him from the college over to Lawrence County. He's one of our school resource officers. And as far as being engaged with the public, one of the other things we do other than serve the public is myself and Kyle, we're champ officers, which we go to the schools in 5th grade level. We teach a drug education program to the 5th graders, and that's done in all of our county schools. a lot of people say, what difference do you think it makes? You really can't put a gauge on that. But what you can say is if you don't do anything, nothing positive is going to occur.
Well, I imagine, too, being able to engage with young people in a soft setting like that helps with your relations with young people, and in turn, when they become older, they don't look at you as somebody with a badge. They look at you as Mr. Bracewell who came to my school.
Right, and like I said, I've been teaching drug education since 1996, and there's been people that's already out of school through college that's come back and spoke to me and mentioned things that we talked about in our classes. And Kyle has been teaching for 2 years. This will be his second year, and once he gets a couple of classes through, they'll start coming to you, and especially in the grocery stores. You know, a lot of parents come up, and one thing it cringes me when a parent says, if you don't behave, I'm going to get that man to take you to jail. Well, you know, that's not, you really don't want to answer it badly, but the only way I know to answer that is I look at the child and I say, look, we take bad parents to jail. We don't take bad kids to jail, because truthfully they go through a juvenile process. And I know the parents are trying to do that to maybe introduce or break the ice when they see us in the stores, but the thing that we want to do is we want the kids to be able to come up to us and be able to speak to us without being afraid of us, or you know, and there's no telling what kind of stories they may have been told about the police or what they may have even actually seen. We're there to help everybody, whether they're just born or 100 years old.
Pretty much everybody that you're dealing with. One of the things I love about a small town is how you're able to connect with people on a much more intimate level. And for many people in law enforcement in this community, some may be transplants, some may be homegrown, but so many of them end up staying. Talk about the reasons why Dublin and Lawrence County is a place that if you're in law enforcement, you want to stay. I don't see this high level of turnover like I'll see in some other areas. I imagine is there any secret in the water, so to speak?
Well, one thing I was born and raised in Lawrence County, and this is where I want to be. There has been maybe opportunity that I could have left, but I didn't, because this is where I want to be. And most of the guys that's down there are from the Lawrence County area, and that's the reason they're there. They want to try to do something in their communities. And you know, even our sheriff is from Lawrence County. He's been here all of his life. He was raised in Dublin, played football at Dublin High School. But
which I love to hear, by the way.
Right. Well, I'll let him tell you those stories. But anyway, you know, I've just known him ever since I've been in law enforcement. You know, I started in 1987, and you know, he's been there, like I said, since about 76, 77. I can't remember what year he said he was there. Maybe even earlier than that, 75, somewhere along the early 70s. But most of the people that were there come from Lawrence County, and this is just what they wanted to do, where they wanted to be. And I hate to know, really, and I've thought about it a bunch of times, if I had to go to work in Atlanta, how would I like that environment? Being from a smaller community, and even since I started law enforcement, Lawrence County has grown. And being from smaller communities, everybody knows everybody.
Right.
And by knowing people, that kind of gives you an advantage when you're going to calls, how to handle the call, or you may know some history about the person before you get there that would make a difference on how you handle the call or what you do or say to that person. And, you know, that's just something I've always wanted to do, is try to know as many people as I can. But now as I'm getting older, I'll see somebody and they'll speak to me. My wife and my kids might be with me. They'll say, who's that? I cannot remember, you know, but, you know, I remember the face, but I can't remember the name.
Well, I can tell you, I'm glad that I've known you, and I've known you for this long, and I want to take a chance to shake your hand and tell you thank you. Kyle, same to you. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Since 1987, Little House Self-Storage has been serving Dublin and Warner Robins with the best in customer service and the lowest prices anywhere. Any shape, any size, we have it, plus climate control. At Little House Self-Storage, safety and security are our top priority, with TV security, special lighting, wide drives for easy access, and 24-hour-a-day access to the storage facility. We invite all businesses to remember Little House Self-Storage for storing records, chip and cookie routes, or contractors. We can even store your car, motorhome, or airplane. Little House Self-Storage, Moody Road, Warner Robins, and Marion Street in Dublin.
I'm Jason Holcomb with Dublin City Schools, and we're back here at the Law Enforcement Appreciation Luncheon, and I'm joined currently with Chief Tim Chatman. And Chief, I just want to first shake your hand and thank you for your service to our community. And if people aren't familiar with Chief Chatman, he has a long history of service to this community in a variety of roles. Chief, if you've got a quick second, go over a quick list of some of the roles that you played prior to becoming chief in the last couple years.
Okay. Well, let me start at the beginning. I started my law enforcement career with the East Dublin Police Department, worked over there for approximately 2 years. I came to Dublin, worked at Dublin Police Department about 6.5 years. I was a detective sergeant when I left, and I finished 22.5 years with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation as a special agent.
Well, Chief, I knew it was a real special day for you whenever you were sworn in and took over this role. Talk about that sense of community, especially as we gather here today. You know, we're recognizing you and the many men and women in our law enforcement, fire rescue, and emergency services for all the dedicated work, the long hours, the underappreciated effort that you put in every day. What does it mean to you to see the community constantly finding ways to come together like this?
It means a lot. I don't really think we can use a word to really describe what we are feeling right now. The night I was sworn in, we had almost a capacity crowd at Theater Dublin. Everybody came, black, white, Hispanic, Indian, etc. That's what our community is all about, diversity. I'm a police officer to all citizens, to all those who work here in our county, in our city. That means a lot to me. To come out here today to see this type of love is mind-blowing. I can tell you that I love you, but if I don't show you that, it's worthless. But when you see this type of love and this type of support, it means a lot to our law enforcement community, especially in the times that we live in now.
Well, and speaking of community, you've made a real effort on your part since becoming a member of the Dublin Police Force to engage the community in a variety of ways. Before we let you go, just briefly tell people about some of the engagement activities that Dublin Police are currently involved in to engage young to old, different communities. Talk about those projects for us.
Well, we have a lot of initiatives that we began that I'm very proud of. We started our Business Watch using a system that's already out there called Remind 101 to put all our businesses on this network. It's an information sharing. If anything happens, we can put this information out. We also have our school systems tied into this, and we look for best practices to allow that initiative to grow every day. We have our Take It Back initiative, bringing our communities together to make everybody an equal shareholder in our community. We teach this through our Neighborhood Watch program to really emphasize the need and the effort of the Take It Back initiative. We've seen a lot of changes that have occurred in the Market Street area and Rutland Drive area, in areas over in Dublin High School area, in our communities. And that's what we're all about, making sure that we do our very best to partner with our community, because we're in a time that our community actually have to become the police. We need their eyes and their ears to make Dublin safer. We are doing our very best, and we see a great response from our community when we have crimes. Now our communities are stepping up. They're the eyes and ears, and they communicate with us what they've seen, what they've heard, and that's a game changer. We have our Transformer initiative that I believe is a game changer when it comes down to our young kids as well as the elders. We've helped people all the way up to 52 years old and as young as 7 years old.
Wow.
And we have partnered with the school system to teach the Take It Back initiative in the Moore Street School. And we're the City of Dublin, mayor, our council, city managers, they believe in it like I believe in it, and they purchased some properties in the Stubbs Park area that we can teach the Take It Back initiative. You know, we believe strongly in this, that the more lives we can transform and get them to see the vision and to think greater and to want more through this program. We've gotten people's jobs, GEDs, bridge that gap. Whatever we can do it. Just yesterday, we were able to get a young lady a job in 1 hour.
Wow.
1 hour to get her on track, and we have our community, our business owners partnering with us to be the change. If you want the change, you have to be the change. You can talk the change all day you want, but if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. I can tell you that's a problem right there. Somebody need to pick up that trash, but if I don't go up and pick up the trash myself, that's useless. And so we're trying to do everything that we can to make a difference. And one of my mottos is the speed of the leader is the speed of the crew. So you have to step up to be that change. And so I'm proud of those initiatives. There are more. We have our Explorer Scout program that is slated for our young kids from 14 on up to 21 years old. It's like an incubator to create a career path for our young kids. Some of our kids may not choose to go to college, but if they participate in our Explorer Scouts, which is a police cadet program, we can mentor them, shape them until they're 21 years old, and then they can cross the aisle, put that application in, and have an opportunity. They have a foot in the door to walk into a career path. One thing that I want to mention about our transfer program, we teach a class called Application 101. The biggest problem with our young generation, it seems like they're not really exposed how to fill out an application.
Those soft skills, we're hearing that from industry all the time, that soft skills are an area where they're really wanting bolstering, because basically the way they describe it is if you can give industry a quality piece of clay, they will mold that clay into their needs, but they need someone who's punctual, somebody who's thoughtful, somebody who can follow rules and regulations, all those soft things that we don't always think about whenever we're talking about education, and those are some of the things that at our school system we're trying to implement more every day.
Well, you know, when you look at the application, it is the beginning of all beginnings. If that application is not suitable, if it's not legible, if it's not neat, if it's not filled in properly, majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, that application will be pushed aside, because that's a level of competition. Even with our application that a lot of people don't even realize. And so what we want to do is be the game changer with that from the police standpoint, is to teach that we're trying to do things that police departments aren't doing, to be that type of change. And whatever we can do, whatever I can do to be that change, we're in.
Well, as long as I've known you, and I've known you as long as our children have gone to school, I've known you to be a man of your word, and I've watched you engage the community, and I'm grateful for everything that you and the police department do for us every day, and I want to thank you again for joining us. We're back. I'm Jason Holcomb, and I'm currently joined with Raymond Braziel. He's principal at Dublin Middle School, and he was one of the instigators for this idea. I received a phone call about the idea of honoring our law enforcement, our fire rescue and emergency services, and I was just floored by the concept, and so went and helped with them, and they put through all the effort as far as cooking the food and getting the desserts ready. And tell me, Mr. Braziel, a little bit more background behind this idea.
Well, Dr. Kellogg and I was talking one day, and he said, I have this idea. I said, well, what is it? He said, I would like to do something for our law enforcement to show them how much we appreciate them. And it's kind of ironic. I was thinking the same thing as I was watching the news and seeing what different ones were doing. I'm like, well, we as the school system can do something to honor the men and women who serve and protect us every day and give their lives for us. So that's how it was born. And from there, we brought all the other principals on board. We had discussions for the last 2 weeks about cakes, pies, chicken and hot dogs, you name it. We've had all kind of discussion. We've gotten it together. All administration is out here this morning. Well, started this morning to now, serving our law enforcement officers, letting them know how much we appreciate them.
And how special is it for you to see a project like this come to fruition so beautifully? I've seen so many people from so many different agencies come and partake. What does that mean to you?
It means the world to us. It's been a team effort from the Dublin City Schools. It hadn't just been one man. It means the world to us to see them come out and the hugs and the thank you and the smiles on their face, and to let them know people are thinking about them, we're praying for them, and we wish them well. So it means the world to us.
Well, Mr. Braziel, we thank you for everything you do in the classrooms, all over Dublin Middle School and for Dublin City Schools. And with that, I'm going to let you go and shake your hand. Thank you.
Thank you so much.